Hello my dear students of grade 6. I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so this is your English mentor Miss Vilika. Today we'll be discussing on the new chapter, that is chapter 2, Tall Tales. Here you'll be learning so many interesting stories and tales, and I'm sure you're going to love it. The topics that we're going to learn today is cautionary tale, urban legend, mini saga, and the last one and the interesting one, that is horror and suspense story. So without wasting our time any further, let's dive into the topic. So let's start with the first topic, that is cautionary tale. So what is a cautionary tale? A cautionary tale is a traditional story with a moral message warning of the consequences of certain actions, inactions, or character flaws. The narrative may be a fable, proverb, or urban legend. Sometimes the story ends with a line telling what the moral of the story is, while other times it is simply attached in a story. In order to understand more about a cautionary tale, I will be narrating a story that is in page number 13 about Jim the boy who ran away, that is in text 2a. So the story begins. Once there was a boy whose name was Jim. His friends were very good to him, so they gave him tea, cakes, and jam. Not only that, but also they gave him a slice of delicious meat, chocolate with pink inside, and little tricycle to ride. And also they read him so many stories again and again, and they even took him to the zoo. But one day something extremely bad incident happened to him, which I now relate. You know, or at least you ought to know, as your parents and your elders have been telling you, that children never are allowed to leave their elders, especially when you are in a crowd. And this was a special weakness of Jim. So one day when they were in a zoo, he was looking for a chance, and then he ran away when he was able, and it was his unlucky day. So as he was running away, something very bad happened to him. That is, he slipped his feet and then he fell into a lion's cage. And then, with an open jaw, a lion sprang a little boy and hungrily began to eat, beginning at his feet. Now just imagine how it feels when a lion starts eating first your toes and then your heels, and then gradually it starts eating your ankles, calves, and then your knees. When it's been eaten slowly by slowly, just imagine what happened. So no wonder Jim disliked, but then it happened to him. So he shouted and cried, but then nobody heard him, and at last the honest keeper, he heard his cry, and then he came to help him. But it was very late when he heard the cry of a little gentleman. So he ran, and then he wished, and he ordered Ponto, that is the name of a lion. So he ordered the lion to put down the little gentleman. So when he cried, and with angry frown when he shouted, the lion put down a drop, that is a small part of Jim, into the ground. But the miserable boy was dead. So, after the incident, the nurse informed his parents regarding the incident that happened to a little boy. And when the parents heard regarding the thing that happened to their boy, they felt very sad, and the mother could not hold her tears, and she started crying. But at the end, she wiped her tears, and she said, "It is all because Jim never listens to what he is asked to do." And then, after the incident, the children always kept a hold of nurse for fear of finding something worse than the thing that happened to Jim. So this is all about the cautionary tale of Jim, a little boy. And I'm sure you have also learned a special lesson from this tale, which tells you that You should always be with your parents or your elders, especially when you are in a crowd. So, this is all about a cautionary tale. Next is urban legend. So, what is urban legend? Urban legends are a part of contemporary folklore stories passed out through word of mouth that their teller claimed to be true. Urban legends are often scary. In fact, many make great plots for horror movies or are designed to trigger some type of an emotional reaction from the person listening. The plots of most urban legends are realistic enough to seem like they have an ounce of truth in them, which in reality is probably what makes them so scary. They are believable, except they are false, at least generally. When you are writing urban legend stories, there will usually be crime or violence, or at least the threat of it in an urban legend. Here, the victim is always someone alone and in danger. But don't overstate anything terrible, but concentrate on how close the victim came to have a terrible experience. Here you have to bear in mind that the victim is usually someone naive who does not realize the danger they are in or that they are being tricked. At the same time, they are ordinary people and we sympathize with them because we see the situation through their eyes and it could happen to any of us. Now, let's learn the next topic that is mini saga. Mini means short and saga means story, so which probably means a short story. A mini saga is a piece of writing which has exactly 50 words, excluding the title of the story, and it should have at least one character. A mini saga has to tell a story and have a beginning, middle, and the end. It cannot just be a description of something. Their aim is to make the reader amused or sympathetic towards the character. Now, let's learn why use mini sagas. Mini sagas provide an excellent vehicle for a short writing lesson. This is because they are easy to read. It is an easy task for the learner to understand. To the learner, writing 50 words does not sound difficult. They focus on accuracy. And the last one is, like all creative writing, they have the potential to be very motivating. So, this is the reason why mini sagas are being used. Now, let's learn the last topic that is horror suspense story. So, when I say horror, I'm sure everybody knows what horror is all about. So, in literature, horror is being pronounced as horror. It is a genre of fiction whose purpose is to create feelings of fear, dread, repulsion, and terror in the audience. In other words, it develops an atmosphere of horror. The term's definition emphasizes the reaction caused by horror, stemming from the old French horror, meaning to shudder or to bristle. Next is suspense. So, suspense, which obviously means being doubtful. So, suspense is a state of mental uncertainty, anxiety of being undecided, or being doubtful. In a dramatic work, suspense is the anticipation of the outcome of a plot or of the solution to an uncertainty, puzzle, or misery, particularly as it affects a character from whom one has sympathy. However, suspense is not exclusive to fiction. Now, I will be narrating some short horror suspense stories. So, guys, hold your breath and listen to the story carefully. Once there were two siblings, that is, a sister and a brother. They loved each other and they always played together, shared things together, and talked about certain things together all the time. So one day her sister said that she was being killed by her mother. So a brother felt very bad and then he went running and then He asked her mother why did she kill her sister, and his mother replied that she does not have a sister and they have only son, that he is the only one. So now here, if they don't have a sister, then who is the one whom he is talking and playing together all the time? Now I'll be narrating the last story about a mother and a child. In the story, long ago there lived a mother and a son all alone in a small hut, and the mother had a strange habit of stroking the hair of his son before his son goes to sleep. And he did that every night before he goes to sleep, that it became so habituated to his son that his son could not sleep without being touched by his mother. But soon everything changed when his mother passed away. But the strange thing that happened is that even after his mother passed away, the stroking of his hair did not stop. So now the question is, when his mother is no more, who is the one who is stroking his hair every night before he goes to sleep? Through the above stories that I have narrated so far, I hope you have a clear concept of what horror suspense story is all about. To conclude, let's quickly summarize the four main topics that we have learned today. The first one, a cautionary tale. A cautionary tale is a traditional story with a moral message, warning of the consequences of certain action. Next, urban legend. Urban legends are a part of contemporary folklore, stories passed on through word of mouth that their teller claims to be true. The third one, a mini saga. A mini saga is a piece of writing which has exactly 50 words, excluding the title. Next, the last one, horror suspense story. A horror suspense story is a fiction story whose purpose is to create feeling of fear, dread, repulsion, and terror in the audience. At the same time, it is a state of mental uncertainty, anxiety of being undecided, or of being doubtful. So this is all for today's video. Hoping that you have enjoyed and learned something through this video. We'll meet you guys in the next video. Till then, thank you and stay safe.